Hey everyone, Collins again, and welcome back to another movie review. And now reviewing um, the third entrance in the Home Alone films. Of course, while back I reviewed Home Alone 1 and 2. Now with both films I enjoy, and now I'm reviewing the third film, Home Alone 3. I just figured it's been a while, since I reviewed the first two films. Why not review number 3 now? When I did my reviews for the Home Alone films, I said a while back I wouldn't. The third film, I got mixed feelings about it, when I wouldn't have it on DVD though. But it turns out that long ago, that I forgot I had it on DVD, Maybe it's because it wasn't probably wasn't that good of a Home Alone film, and I just forgot about it. But yeah, but it happens sometimes. You forget what stuff you own because you own so many DVDs, But Home Alone 3, I'm still kind of mixed about it, but I think it's an alright sequel, and first one classic comedy film, and Home Alone 2 good sequel. But Home Alone 3, like I said, it's okay. It's alright. It's an alright film at best. The film was released in 1997 for what was it the second film was 1992, I think. Yeah. The second film was 1992, and yeah, so it was 5 years after the second film, and no cast members come back. Of course, it's a completely different story. Although it's still in Chicago. The film still sets in Chicago, like while the first film was. It was in Chicago. But the setting is still in Chicago. Really enough, it's directed by Raja Gosnell, who this was his film debut as a director. And since then he would directed films like Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore, and then he go on direct Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, and then the Smurfs 1 and 2, Beverly Hills Chihuahua, and Yours, Mine, and Ours remake, which that was not a good remake though. But yeah, Rajal Gosnell. I do like him as a director, but of course he has like one or two films that I wouldn't care to say. Like Yours, Mine, and Ours was not that good. I was never the big fan of Never Been Kissed though, the film with Drew Barrymore. But I like Scooby-Doo. I like the sequel, and like I said, the Smurfs 1 and 2, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. And for his first film, he did alright, for directing for a third sequel for Home Alone. And when the film came out, and it made a lot less money than for the previous two. Like the first film was over 400 million, the second film was over 300 million. This film made 79 million, so it was a lot more less than box office takings in the previous two films, But it made 79 million on a budget of 32 million, so I guess it did alright, And the film was met with more negative feedback than the previous films, But really enough, and also the film was nominated for a Golden Razzie for a worst remake or prequel, But in that same year, Speed 2: Cruise Control took that award away, It won that award, which is understandable, Definitely see why. But surprisingly, the very positive review came from Roger Ebert, the late Roger Ebert. He gave this film 3 out of 4 stars. Even says right there, that quote right there, even better than the first two, So yeah, Roger Ebert claims that says that it was a fresh, funny, better than the first two, I would understand. I do understand the word, the way he said fresh part, because it's a standalone story, different settings, different characters. I do understand that, But better than the first two? No, I would disagree on that part though. The first two are still better. So yeah, on that. And then of course after this film came out, 2002 came a made for television sequel, Home Alone 4, Take It Back to House, which that is the worst Home Alone film ever, with no doubt about it. Of course, then also they like a couple of years ago they made another Home Alone Christmas special. I believe what started the Malcolm McDowell was in it. I've never seen it and I don't care to see it. Home Alone 3, I would say Home Alone 3 is better than the next two films, but, well, like I said, it's an okay film at best. Raja Gosnell did a decent job as for his first time directing. And also, you still got John Hughes, who it was still written and produced by John Hughes, who did still on the previous Home Alone films. He still comes back as producer and writer. And then. And as a John Hughes, he's still missed. And again, nothing for special features, just a trailer and that's it. But getting into the story, the film opens up. Of course, it starts off with like how the opening of the first two Home Alone films with the opening song theme, dun 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 dun, with the showing of the houses, and then but it doesn't go to the house though. It cuts to Hong Kong, and it goes. This is why I get into that's why it's a decent film, because the plot, is just it comes to the silly part, because it opens up because like in Hong Kong there's this maybe you could say terrorist, maybe you could say that this leader, is I guess the leader is North Korean, I guess. And they take in this computer chip, and because it's $10 million for the missile chip or something like that. And then you have the leader of your bad guys in the film here, this guy named Beaupre. He's the leader of the bad guys, and he says he wants the chip because the chip wants to a missile chip that cannot be detected by radar, something like that. So they got the chip, and see him and his three other bad guys here, which all four of them are right there, two other guys and a woman. The guy your name recooks are Beaupre, Alice, Jernigan, and Unger. And so they take the chip, they get the chip from this guy, they pay him off, and they go to the airport. So they hide into the toy car to slip it past the security, So they're going to the airport, and as they at the check stand, they get the bag switched up with an old lady, which is who lives in the neighborhood of the kid, So they get the bag switched, and they. Well, the bad guys, like, I guess they can say they're spies, because they have all these gadgets, these spy gadgets. Like the guy has for some reason has a glove cam, to identify the cab, So I guess you can kind of say that they're spies, And so it works their way to the neighborhood where the kid named Alex, played by, which is his first name is Alex, Alex D. Linz, But if you end up looking it up, looking at this kid is voiced Tarzan in the 1999 Disney film Tarzan, the younger Tarzan. No, really, so really, this kid voiced the younger Tarzan in the film. Really. And so he lives in the neighborhood. He he gets the toy car from the old lady named Mrs. Hess, and for snow shoveling job, and then of course why he stay home alone because he stays home because he has the chicken pox. He has the chicken pox, and he has his older brother with his talking parrot, and he has an older sister played by Scarlett Johansson. Really enough, Scarlett Johansson plays as older sister, So that's why he stay home because he has a chicken pox. While everyone leaves home, stays home and looks around the house, you know, like stuff like spying on the neighborhood, you know. And while that the spies they rent a house and to temporarily stay, you know, and they know what the toy car is in the neighborhood, but they don't know which house it is. So the leader of the bad guys, Beaupre, starts sneaking into houses one at a time, you know, searching for the toy car, you know. And so like the one day when Alex is looking through the telescope, you know, he sees the guy in one of the houses, you know, so he calls 911, they get there, they find nothing, you know, so they don't believe him, they thought he made the story up, you know, made up what he saw. So the next day after the parents leave again, you know, the guy sneaks into another one of the houses, so when Alex sees the guy again, he calls 911 once again, break into the house, they find nobody, you know, the crooks the spies have left again. So they question why there's nobody in those houses, you know, and they think they just made up what he saw again, you know, and nobody believes him, you know. So sometimes he decides to plan on the next day because he knows that he knows that they create one house at a time, so they plan it. So he knows where the next house that they're going to be at. So he uses the toy car and a video camera, you know, tapes it to the car, and so he goes over to uses the car to go over to the next house where the burglar is at, you know. So he makes his way over to the car, goes into the next house, he sees him, you know, when the guy surprises him, he sees that he's being videotaped, you know, and tries to grab it and tries to chase the toy car, you know. But as he tries to make it outside, the car flops over, but they grab it and they take out the videotape, you know. But he still doesn't know they're after the car still. But and as the woman Alice, you know, she tries to open the car up, but Alex drives the car and just hits her on the chin and gets away, and this is where you get another funny supposedly funny chase scene, you know. And the chase scene, I thought it was, I got a couple of chuckles out of it, you know, but not the best, not the funniest chase though, but I got a couple of chuckles out of it though. Because in terms of how the chase went, if trying to put a picture in my mind, like one instance, like when the car goes into like one of the bushes, you know, and the woman and the leader, you know, they think there were either side where the car went over, and they jumped up, and of course they bonk into each other, you know. Yeah, even sometimes the guy who's supposed to be the smartest and the leader of the group, you know, he's also acts like an idiot as well, you know. And I was like, these well, I'll get to that in a second though, but so they managed to Alex gets the car, but they got the tape, but he wonders why they're still chasing the car until he opens it, and that's when he finds the computer chip. So he calls like a person like in the military, you know, like to get the number on the chip, you know. And so he knows they're probably gonna come after him, and like later on the night, you know, when the family's eating dinner, the woman calls the mom on the phone and tells him and indicates that now he knows they know where he lives now, you know. So that's when Alex starts preparing the traps, you know, like before the big events, you know, like they took one of the dogs, and the dog is in the neighborhood, you know, as they freeze it, with a dog whistle, you know, which is funny enough. He doesn't seem to have a dog in the house, but he has a dog whistle, you know. But freeze the dog, and that's when after the parents leave again, you know, and I thought it was kind of funny how many times the parents leaves the house, the kid all alone, you know. But then that's when he prepares more of the traps, and then we have that song, which I thought I didn't mind the song. Was that this is my town, you know, this is my town, you know. I didn't mind that song, which really enough, which is funny really enough, you know. I have the version that's in the movie where it says this thing, if you're ready, if you're ready, do see hell, you know, come and ring the bell. Which in the other version I have, which it says, if you think you're ready, well, instead of seeing hell, you know. I don't know why they changed versions though, but I think I prefer the one that's in the movie, you know. If you're ready, do see hell, instead of if you think you're ready, well, you know. I don't know why in the other version they changed that, you know, but still. But overall, I didn't mind that song that was playing. You know, it's like in the same of the first two films where he's setting the traps. You have some music playing as he's preparing the traps. You know. So, but the mother calls the old lady, you know, Mrs. Hess, to go over there to babysit though. But the woman takes the lady to the garage, ties her up, you know, and leaves the door open to the cold air in, you know. So. As we get to the start of the traps where the guy Unger tries to cut the wire, which he wired, you know, and you see how his long hair spreads, you know, like how it gets electrocuted. I thought it was done with much funnier in Home Alone 2, where Marv, he gets electrocuted, his hair, you know, how his hair sticks up, and how it shows the skeleton, you know. I thought that was much more funnier than how the guy gets electrocuted, you know, but still. So the guy, the leader, Beaupre, you know, he cuts a string, and it says maybe the kid's not so clever after all, you know, and of course releases a trunk full of books, breaks through the window, and falls on top of them, you know, and then even Alex releases another string, cuts a string, or releases a set of weights, you know, boom, you know. So. And another instance where the other guy, Jernigan, he sits on a chair, gets electrocuted, or like an instance where he gets stands at one point where he gets sprayed with cold water from hoses, you know, which the guy is stupid, you know, which is why doesn't he just take a few steps back away from the water instead of just standing there like oh, you know. I mean, these for spies are supposed to be smart and intelligent, you know. These I would say they're some of the worst spies ever, you know. Of course they fall into the traps like complete idiots, you know. That's why the villains, you know, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, you know, they're much more better and funnier, you know, funnier bad guys than these four numbskulls, you know. Because at least Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, they had better funny lines and how they better and funnier scenes when they fall into Kevin's traps, you know. There was this much more fun. There was the traps with them and how the stuff they said. It's much more funnier than these guys, you know. So, like I mentioned, how why are the idiots, you know? Like the later Beaupre, like when it's this way, he tries to go into the front door, but it just hits the door, and also just hits his knee on the door, and it's like, oh wow, you know. And one instance where Dallas falls into this mud, you know, it hits the string, gets hit in the flower pots, and like the guy Jernigan, he goes in the garage and thinks he has the kid, but it was a doll, and it was just like this lawnmower, which is like, oh, that's just a little bit extreme, you know, like a freaking lawnmower, you know. Of course, they only that's like how it cuts his hair, like right there, how the guy's hair is cut, gives him that funny haircut, you know. Yeah, it's a freaking lawnmower, but it doesn't cut just cuts hair, but just doesn't cut like the rest of his head off, you know. Realistically, but it's a comedy, so it's good lines on that, you know. So what happens next? Well, okay. Well, there's one of the traps I thought was one of the traps I thought was funny when the guy Beaupre, you know, how he goes in the front door, he hears like a noise in the closet, you know. I think he's in there. He opens the door, has like this contraption with a chair. It's attached to a boxing glove, and just as he opens it, hits him right in the balls, you know. Okay, that was and also he's like making that You know how guys make those noises when they get hit in the balls, like, oh, you know. And as soon as he sits down, he sits on the shotgun that he had, you know. Oh, but I do admit that was like a scene. That was one trap I thought was a pretty funny scene, you know. So okay. Like I said, I got a couple of chuckles on some of the scenes, and including stuff with the traps, you know. But it was just done much better in the previous two films, though. I'm just saying, though. Um. So they go after trap, you know, until they all meet, and the three other burglars. So they go upstairs while the leader Dupree disappears until he disappears till a bit towards the end of it, you know, the whole thing. So as they're searching the house, the other three, they're searching the house. Well, when they're in when the woman and the other guy Jernigan, they're in the bedroom when Alice sees because not only Alex had well, the brother had his older brother had a parrot, you know, that could speak perfect English, you know, and he also has him as pet red Doris, you know. And Doris, the rat climbs up into the guy's pants because he has a hole in he has a hole in his pants in the crotch area, you know. And Alice sees the rat and it tells Jernigan to don't move, which is that's what they did. Try to create reference in the first film, you know, when Mars sees the spider, the tarantula on Harry, you know, tells him to don't move, you know. That's pretty much the way they were doing here, you know. Telling the guy not to move, you know. So so she tells him not to move and has like this stick, you know, and as soon as it hits the rat jumps out and hits the guy in the nuts, you know, and the guy's like, oh, you know. But of course, what happened in the first film was still better, you know. Tells him with the tarantula, hits him, kisses him in the balls, you know. In the first film, he hits him right in the chest, you know. Don't move. He's like, Marv, what are you doing? Marv, you know. It's like, did I get him? Did I get him? Where is it? You know. And this is still done better in the first film with that same joke, you know. And the guy's like, you smacked my winky. And I was like, well, if you change your shorts once in a while, maybe you wouldn't have rats in your pants. So, of course, all three of them, they're all bumbling idiots, you know. Like I said, they're the worst spies ever, you know. They have all this stuff, you know, but they act like complete idiots, you know. So, the kid goes runs outside, you know, and the two guys, they jump down on the trampoline thinking that they're gonna bounce, but it breaks and falls into to the frozen swimming pool, which he switched, you know. He put the trampoline over the frozen swimming pool and switched it, you know. And the woman Alice, you know, she hears the dumbwaiter come up, but the kid removed the floor of the dumbwaiter, and of course she falls all the way down the bottom. And as Alice gets in the garage and tries to tie Mrs. Hess, then the leader Beaupre comes in, you know. So he tells him to give him the computer chip, and takes out the gun, which earlier he switched his gun up for a fake gun, you know, which is like those guns that shoot those sticky things, you know. It's like that doesn't, I was like, that doesn't belong to you either. What? That's not your gun, and it shoots and hits a image of him in the mirror, you know, those kind of guns, you know. And Alex fools him again, thinking he has his gun, but really, you know, scares him away. But really, it's a bubble gun that he spray painted. So as the police come in, you know, they take the three away, you know. Of course, the two guys were in the pool. When they get them out, they like still frozen ice around on their waist, you know. When the police carry the woman, I was like all broken up, you know. But they gave the guy the police to the which earlier because the the people who's been after these people and the chip, they've been notified as well, so they come to the house as well, and he says, and then finds the guy that they've been finds out he's been telling the truth the whole time, and the parrot is driving the toy car into this little I wouldn't say box or like a little thing. I forget what's called, And the guy, the guy Beaupre, he's been hiding out, trying to hide from the cops by sitting in there, And the parrot takes a match and flies where Alex put full of the fireworks inside, all around it, and Beaupre tries to bribe the parrots with a cracker, and the parrot's like, double or nothing, because that's the initial like earlier before when Alex gave him 2 crackers, to keep him silent from squealing, to his brother, whatever. So yeah, so he only had 1, so 1 cracker, but the parrot lights up, and the guy, of course, the guy's, and once again, the guy's he's the leader, but he's an idiot as well, and he just sits there, although he had some time to get out of that, wherever that was, until he goes like this, like that, and gets blown up, But it doesn't get blown up to bits, though. It's just fireworks, though. So later, the dad comes back from his business trip, and everyone's in the kitchen, claiming that Alex is a hero, he got a reward, and all that, and of course the dad gives him another gift, which is another toy car, and then this is a parrot and Doris on the toy car, and it's like, gentlemen, start your engines. So it comes to the police station where our guys are getting their mug shots, like right there, And yeah, so and you have the song "This Is My Town" playing again, that song playing again, and it shows them they're all getting their mug shots, and they all got the chicken pox from Alex, It shows them all their faces, they all have the chicken pox, So yeah. It's an okay sequel though, but it's not the best. The first 2 films are still better, They're still better. They're still better Home Alone. You still got, you got better characters, better villains, But this was an okay film. It's like Raja Gosnell, he did okay for his first time directing though. It's definitely not his best film though. It's just the bad guys, they're not the best bad guys, and I would say like the worst spies ever, But they're supposed to be very intelligent, but they act like idiots, The kid Alex, he was alright, but he's not what Kevin was in the Home Alone films, Home Alone 1 and 2, Macaulay Culkin was still better, in the first 2 films. Like I said, Marv, Harry, or Joe Pesci or Daniel Stern, they were still better and funnier villains, But the film, like I said, it's an alright film. I can still watch it, because like I said, I got a few chuckles out of it, a couple of funny scenes, But it's definitely not the best. I disagree with Robert. I do disagree with Roger Ebert though. It's not better. He says it's better than the first 2 films, but I disagree on that though. Although I do agree it's what the other part in the quote that he said, fresh, very funny, better than the first 2. I do agree on the fresh part, because like I said, it's a standalone it's a standalone sequel with new characters and bad guys. I do get that part, But the problems, like I said, it's just I don't know what to say, but with the problems, like I do get a couple of funny scenes, But the bad guys, they're not the greatest though. But and like I said, the kid Alex, he's not the greatest either though. But this is the characters, they're just the main characters in the first 2 films. They were just more funny and memorable, That's the best way I can put it, Even the parrot I thought was a bit annoying. It was a bit annoying at sometimes, But that's why I'm mixed on it. I think it's an okay sequel. It's not the best sequel. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's an okay, decent film. That's the best way I could put it. It's an okay, decent film. And I do understand the negative feedback, because it has a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a 4.2 on IMDb. I think and I do understand the low ratings, you know. And I think it debuted at number 4 at the box office, because it came out at a time, like, it was released in 1997, so I guess that was around the time when Titanic was. I think they came out like after a week after this film was released, because it was released on December 12th, and I think it came out on the same day or the week after when Titanic came out. I forget though, but it didn't take number 1 at the box office. I'll tell you that though. I do remember that for a fact though, but that's why it wasn't that such a big of a hit, you know. Made 79 million, and compared to the other 2 films, as big box office takings, you know. But that's why I don't know what else I could say about Home Alone 3, you know. But like I said before, it's a decent, okay film / sequel, you know. But I do say it's definitely way better than Home Alone 4, Taking It Back to the House, or even though I saw some clips online about the 5th one, Christmas special, whatever, you know, was like made for another TV on ABC, you know. I saw clips that it was not that good, you know, so I could definitely say Home Alone 3 is better than the next 2, you know, 4 and 5, you know. But to me, after seeing Home Alone 3, I was like, you didn't need any more Home Alone films, you know. You just didn't need the next 2 films, you know. You could just let those out, you know. But it didn't matter. They got made anyway, so yeah. But so that's my review for Home Alone 4. Home Alone 4. I didn't mean to say that. Home Alone 3. And listen, it's definitely not Raja Gosnell's best film though, but he did all right for his first time directing. He did okay. John Hughes. He's written better stuff though, by far. I know he's written he wrote and produced on the 2 films though, but better writing and producing on those 2 films than this one though. But like I said, overall, okay, decent film / sequel. So that's my review for Home Alone 3. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.